Joining me now with key investor takeaways from all of this, former White House Deputy Press Secretary under George W. Bush, also Hamilton Place Strategies founding partner Tony Fratto. Also in Chicago, KKM Financial founder and CEO Jeff Kilburg. Both of these gentlemen are CNBC contributors. Thank you both for being here right now. Let's break it all down. Tony, we'll start with you. Let's go through the hits, runs, and errors, the X's and O's, so to speak, of what's happening with Super Tuesday. As things stand right now, we still don't know the full counts. How do you see this race shaping up for specifically Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders?
It really is a Joe Biden story right now. I mean, for Joe Biden to go take that South Carolina win into Super Tuesday, and probably the tightest window that he had with no other news out there, and turn that momentum into the role that he had last night, which was really had to be breathtaking to watch. He won in states that he never visited, that he never held a campaign event in, that he never put a field office in, that he never spent a dime in. So it was really dramatic. The big wins in Massachusetts and Minnesota.
But why? How did that happen, Tony? How did it happen that you could take a former Vice President Joe Biden and go to have an election victory in those states that he's never really even campaigned in? Yeah. What was the driving force? Was it the fact that Amy Klobuchar threw their support there, Beto O'Rourke, you've got others, Pete Buttigieg, all of these former rivals now saying that they back Joe Biden?
I think what they're looking for, and what it appears that Democratic voters are looking for, is that candidate that could capture the large center lane of the Democratic Party. And if you listen to the exit polls in state after state, they say they're looking for a candidate who they think is best positioned to beat Donald Trump in November. And there are a lot of Democratic voters who are concerned that Bernie Sanders can't do that he can't unify the party and take that race to Trump. They believe they were hopeful that Biden could. Because of his win in South Carolina, he showed them that he's going to make a case for it.
All right, so Jeff Kilburg, let's talk about the market reaction today. How much do you think the moves pre-market so far have to do with the Super Tuesday evolution as we know it right now, and how much of it has to do with the idea that the coronavirus is somehow maybe taking a back seat to what's happening with the U.S. political situation right now?
Well, Dom, I think the overarching theme in this morning's gains is certainly the historic Fed cut yesterday of 50 basis points. But there is a big input from Super Tuesday. The impact of Super Tuesday now being Wonderful Wednesday for Joe Biden. And think about the resurgence, the last 72 hours for Joe Biden, his campaign. I think he actually may select LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years as his campaign song. So it's really interesting to see. And look at a name like UNH, UnitedHealth. It's been a beat-up name, or look even at a broader swath, the ETF XLV, been beat up all year long. But pre-market, UNH is really seeing a resurgence up about 4% due to the fact that Biden is really feeling the burn. So it'll be really interesting to see how this works out. The next couple of weeks, there will be a slugfest, but I think this really is being well received on Wall Street as it's Wonderful Wednesday for Joe Biden.
So Tony, this is interesting because Jeff brings up a great point. We're showing UnitedHealth right now on the chart. You could also show CVS Health. You could show any large health insurance company or pharmacy benefits manager or anyone else tied to managed care in America. Because the possibility of a Joe Biden candidacy to the presidency is better for perhaps taking away the threat of Medicare for all and things like that. What else are you looking for in the marketplace? Where are the implications going to be felt outside of just the healthcare industry?
Yeah, I think financial sector also, right? I think it's pretty clear that if you had a Bernie Sanders come in, he's probably going to use all of the discretion that's available in Dodd-Frank with the regulators, the kinds of regulators that he would put in those jobs. And I think on climate and energy companies too. He's made it very clear wants to go after fracking, wants to go after coal. So those sectors you would want to keep an eye on if you're concerned about a Bernie Sanders win. Biden, you think, is going to work well, more within the system. It's not that he doesn't want to do things on climate and energy. It's not that he doesn't want to, probably wouldn't take a look at the financial sector also, but not the radical kinds of changes you would expect with Bernie Sanders.
So, Jeff Kilburg, let's talk about the trader's mentality and aspect here right now. Do you use the election as a reason to trade or to invest, and are those two things very different?
I think they are very different, Dom. It's certainly a consideration, and I think the game has changed just in the last 24 hours with Biden's resurgence. But due to the fact that we're seeing this historic rate cut, that is really the focus of traders. Say you're seeing volatility come down, and I think people are underestimating the power of the Federal Reserve. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it's really interesting. Traders are focused on seeing a little bit of volatility come down. Look at the VIX back under 30. That's a big deal, Dom.